This is Average Sports.
By your average guys,
Eric.
and Ty. That would be so bad.
Yeah. This is Average Sports.
Your average sports.
Average Sports.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of
You're listening to Average Sports with your average guys.
Average Sports, average guys, Eric and Ty.
Yeah, it is that time, so here we go. Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy one. It's another episode of Average Sports. Thanks so much for tuning in. It took 5 years and 2 weeks for us to get to this episode. Eric, you know why? Because we're going to talk about Olympics.
Hey, man. Finally made it.
It's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot to talk about, actually, for
right.
what's been happening and outside of the Olympics, but we will talk plenty of it. You've been watching, right, Eric?
All I've been doing is flipping between NBC, NBCSN, and USA.
Yeah.
Sometimes CNBC. They've been showing it here and there.
Sprinkle that in there.
But yeah, I mean, I've just been flipping between everything and enjoying a ton of events. So I'm excited to talk a lot of Olympics today.
Yeah, we're going to keep it pretty focused on the sports themselves, not so much on, controversy going on outside.
Yeah.
I think we're all aware of that, and that's not what we're here to talk about. We're going to talk about sports in a very average way.
That's right. But before we do, we have our newest segment, Would You Rather? So I got two questions for you today, man. Would you rather be the hero that saves the girl or the villain that takes over the world? And for me, this is so easy.
I always feel like with your questions, I need a little bit more. Enhance it. If I took over the world, what does that mean for me? Again, a lot of responsibility. But if I save the girl, is like...
Yeah, but you're a villain. You have a bunch of henchmen to do all your work.
Yeah, sounds great. I mean, I guess
Are you going to be
Sure.
Superman saving Lois Lane?
No.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I'll go villain on that one. Okay, what's the other one?
Yeah, I'm going villain too. Okay, so this one's a little bit more out there. Would you rather walk barefoot into a public restroom or get poisoned? Now, when I say poison, I mean like poisoned, not just
like I can't remember his name, the Russian who was recently extradited from Germany, I think, back to Russia, and they just stuck him in prison, and they were trying to kill him. Putin was after him.
Yeah, I mean
talking about
like
a villain with
poison.
henchmen.
Yeah, maybe not like life-threatening, because in that case, then I'd rather walk.
What kind of poison are we talking about then?
Equal level poison, like something that's going to put you down for
alcohol
a week.
Is poison.
Like a week.
I could heavy drinking.
No, out of commission for like a week.
Try to find a loophole there. I'll walk barefoot.
Man, I don't know.
I could always take a bath after. That's fine. Or whatever. Scrub pumice stone on my feet.
Walking barefoot in a public restroom.
Would you rather really get poisoned with whatever poison you're talking about?
I don't know, man.
Sounds awful.
I don't know.
Sounds terrible. All right,
I'm going to take the minor poison.
Okay. Minor poison.
Yeah, minor poison.
Okay.
Nothing too severe.
All right, before we call poison control and get Eric some help, how about we talk about some recent headlines, because there's some controversy, drama. But first thing I thought was most interesting in the last couple of weeks that developed is that the Cleveland Indians are no more after this season in Major League Baseball. They have officially announced they're changing their name to the Cleveland Guardians. I'm a fan. I like the name. This is long overdue. I think we know that. At least they did away with the hokey logo. That was a joke.
Yeah, Chief Wahoo.
Yeah, Chief Wahoo
went away a couple years ago. We actually talked about it. On an older episode.
Yeah. So I mean, I like the change, and there's a good team or town city component around the Guardians, the statues.
Okay, explain it to me.
Okay, so there's a bridge in the city in Cleveland, and it's like a very Art Deco architecture. It was built, I think, in the late 20s or early 30s, around that time. So old bridge in the city, and they have these big, massive, like Adonis-looking statues in full armor, and they are affectionately known as the Guardians of Cleveland. And so there's that tie-in to where this baseball name has come from. So I think it's pretty cool.
Okay,
I don't know what the logo will look like now. I haven't seen any, marketing.
Yeah,
maybe our own marketing could post something for us.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be wonderful for our marketing department to create something.
It'd be nice to see
the
them.
Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, actually do some work.
Yeah. So this bridge.
Yeah.
This
you should
is
look it up.
Here.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So this cool. I mean, that does sound really awesome. Now, does this go over like their rivers that are on fire?
It might.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Leading to the statue of Moses Cleveland?
Maybe.
Yeah, okay. I like
It's
it.
a Cleveland Bridge. I don't know. We can go anywhere.
If you don't get that reference, maybe we'll have marketing post that one too.
Okay. At least it's not Detroit. How about some real drama that's going on with college football? Eric, you found this one.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's encapsulated with the drama that's going on in women's gymnastics. We, Ty and I actually touched on a very similar topic to that a couple weeks ago with Naomi Osaka. As far as like the drama going on there, but with this headline's being kind of covered up almost with everything that's going on with Simone Biles and the Olympics.
All right, I think we changed gears here. So we were talking about. I asked about college football.
Yeah, I'm
Are you getting
there.
to it? Okay,
I'm getting there.
I'm missing the segue then.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
maybe
all
I
right.
missed it.
All right, well, okay.
Well, you were talking about drama in the Olympics, and I was like, yeah.
No drama in the SEC.
Oh, okay. Well,
College football.
yeah, I got you. So
You with me?
I'm with you. It's a buried headline.
We don't
mostly-
script this, clearly.
Yeah, no. It's definitely a buried headline, but essentially the long and the short of it is that Texas and Oklahoma have informed the Big 12 that they will not be coming back to the Big 12 when the TV contract ends. So, kind of what that's meaning is that the Big 12 is potentially in jeopardy of dissolving,
Becoming the medium 12
minor,
or medium 10.
minor conference. I think they're already down to 10 teams when they lost Mizzou and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
10 years or so ago, whatever it was. But there has been some huge allegations thrown out there by Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlsby. I'm not sure if I'm saying his last name right. I apologize, Bob.
Sorry,
but
Bob.
he made a statement that essentially said, and I quote he said he told Sports Illustrated that he has documented evidence that ESPN has tried to encourage an unnamed conference to absorb some Big 12 members in an effort to destabilize the league so Texas and Oklahoma could avoid their exit fees and go somewhere else. Now, the catch here is essentially Commissioner Bob is accusing ESPN of doing this so that they could lure Texas and Oklahoma over to the SEC. And the SEC network is owned by, you guessed it, ESPN. Yeah, the mouse. The House of Mouse. So it's all connected. So they essentially sent a cease and desist letter to ESPN, and ESPN just said these allegations have no merit. I'm assuming this is definitely going to go to litigation at some point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, some people are going to be pretty
Quite
unhappy
the
with
conspiracy there, Eric. That's very interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
compelling.
Is it so far? I wouldn't call it a conspiracy. It doesn't seem that
you
far-fetched
can still
to me
conspire to do something, and that's exactly
okay.
what.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Sure.
I was thinking
it doesn't.
Grassy
You just have
knoll
a connotation
conspiracy.
that a conspiracy means that it could be just fabricated
like
and
the grassy
beyond
knoll.
crazy.
Yeah, of course.
Right. No, lizard people are not behind this. I'm sure.
The lizard Illuminati.
Well, maybe. I mean, who knows?
I don't know.
Anyway, let's stay on track here. That's a different show, a different day. But that's quite one that isn't quite the accusation, but just the story alone. I'm trying to grasp also what all the benefits are there. Like how does having two, I guess, more powerhouse teams in college football moving to that conference make all the difference? Is that just then because more people will focus in on the SEC and there's more money?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be a money thing.
I mean, it's definitely
always
a money
is.
thing.
But I'm missing
thing.
how to connect the pieces. Why not just have the Big 12 play more SEC teams?
Well, I mean,
like restructure the season. I guess I just don't know.
Well, they can only play so many out of conference games.
Okay.
They have to play a large amount within conference. I mean, that's just kind of part of the rules.
And how many teams though could be in the SEC?
I don't think there's a limit because they have something. I mean, there's 16 to 20 that play football.
Really, that many?
Yeah. Remember, there's two divisions.
And there's how many
teams? East and West.
How many games do they play in a college football season? That's 12, right?
10? 11 maybe.
Okay. So you're never going to play every team in that conference?
They already don't play every team. They only play a couple teams from the other division. So they have to play everyone in their own division.
Yeah.
for the SEC, and then they play a handful of games, 1 or 2 against another SEC team from the other side.
To me, it also sounds like you're setting the groundwork for just, rather than call it the NCAA college men's football, just call it the SEC football. Or you'll have a Pacific team, and then you'll have SEC or a Pacific Conference.
Yeah, I mean, with the SEC having the long run of dominance that they've had, I mean, adding two huge powerhouses, especially in Texas and Oklahoma. I mean, it's definitely a money thing. That they're gonna gain all that viewership. I mean, these are not small schools. And it's definitely a money thing.
And then the SEC would, I mean, if they also felt like they're too engorged with teams, I mean, would they look at getting rid of some?
I mean, I could see that happening. Okay. I think they would then look at their major sports, football, basketball, and then be like, okay, who's the weakest here? See ya.
I honestly did not know that the conferences within college football could be that competitive. And I suppose it makes sense if you look at then who's been winning, where those teams are coming from. I mean, a lot in the South. It's not always SEC, but Clemson is what, ACC?
Clemson is ACC.
Right.
Yeah.
But point being, you only have a few conferences that really have then the national champions.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 6 that get the buy-in anyway. It's still the same 6 from the BCS that are your big conferences. So your Pac-12, Big 12, ACC, SEC, the former Big East. No, that's a mid-tier now. Big 10, I'm missing one. So, yeah.
It's a lot to remember.
Oh, no, it's just the Power 5 now. So, it's just the Power 5. So, once the Big East dissolved, when they had that split several years ago where all the basketball teams pulled out because the football teams like Miami, Virginia Tech, and Pitt went over to the ACC, the Big East was like, well, this isn't going well for us.
It's quiet here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we should definitely circle back to that. Discuss again.
Yeah, I definitely think it's something to kind of follow.
Very interesting.
And I think here was my point earlier is like this is just getting buried underneath the drama that's going on in the Olympics. So where this is a pretty
then it's a good
headline.
Segue to our topic. Actually, before though we really jump into that, how about some NHL free agency moves?
Oh my
there
goodness.
have been a lot actually. I don't want to just put that behind us and not touch on it because I mean if you're a fan of the NHL, I mean this is an exciting time, even though there's no hockey.
Last couple days, man. I mean, there have been trades galore. So, a big one with the Blues and the Rangers. Sammy Blais goes to New York. Pavel Buchnevich comes to the Blues. This dude is a 20-goal scorer in a shortened season. He's very young. This is a huge deal for the Blues to get him. There's another huge trade between Chicago and Tampa. Tyler Johnson is going to Chicago along with a draft pick to get Brent Seabrook. I think that I mean, Tyler Johnson was such a big name a couple years ago with a ton of talent. I just don't know what happened there because I look at Brett Seabrook and I'm like, really? This seems kind of one-sided. I think Chicago definitely got the better deal out of this too, but I guess we'll have to see. What we got there. Philip Grubauer, Colorado goaltender, signed with the Seattle Kraken. Yeah, that's their first huge free agent signing.
Yeah.
They had another one, Jaden Swartz. He's definitely a little bit older, a veteran player, leaving the Blues to go sign with the Kraken as well as a free agent. But I think that's a big addition for Grubauer to go to Seattle. They could have passed. They could have taken players like Brandon Holtby. Marc-Andre Fleury wasn't protected in the expansion. No, he was. Who was the other big goaltender that wasn't? I can't think of it. There were a couple big time goaltenders that weren't protected that they didn't take. They took some decent guys there, but they definitely held off there. Evgeny Dontanov is going to Vegas for Nick Holden. That's a pretty decent trade right there. Alex Martinez re-signs with the Knights. Braden Holtby signed with the Dallas Stars. That was a big one that they could have grabbed. Carey Price. Carey Price and Braden Holtby were the two goaltenders that weren't protected in the expansion draft that I was surprised they didn't take a chance on. So Keith Yandel is going to Philadelphia. I mean, that's a big time defenseman as well too. That's a huge addition. And then Darcy Kemper, right after the Avalanche lost Grubauer, they went and made a trade with Arizona because they didn't have anybody else. So Colorado gives up a lot. They give up a first-round pick next year and a third-round pick in Connor Timmins for Darcy Kemper. I think Colorado overpaid personally, but is what it is. Dougie Hamilton, this is a big one, leaving Carolina, going to New Jersey. So, I mean, there's so much more, that's happening. Mike Hoffman signs with the Canadians. I mean, that's another sharpshooter.
And there's still